Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome. My name is Kendall Thu. I'm the NIU's Faculty Senate President and Executive Secretary of the University Council, our two primary shared governance bodies. I'm very pleased to have the opportunity to introduce President Freeman to deliver the State of the University Address. As most of you know, President Freeman was appointed our 13th president a year ago, September. And so I think officially we can say she's no longer the newly appointed president. She is just our president. I have known President Freeman since she arrived in 2010 as our vice president for research. And during the time that I've known her, I've had a number of occasions to have a number of conversations. And many times we agree, many times we don't agree, and then there's all that stuff in between. And I think it's those conversations where you don't agree that really matter the most and are most important in judging character and building trust. I think the kind of relationship that I've built with President Freeman, particularly through my role in shared governance, is the kind of relationship that she's building across campus and the community at large. During her address last year, President Freeman pledged to guide NIU by the principles of shared governance, mutual respect, and transparency in decision-making. And I think that kind of approach to guiding the university is in no small part responsible for the tailwind that I think that is at our backs today. And as I've talked to stakeholders across campus, I've noted an emergent, though tempered, optimism about our future. And I certainly look forward to what President Freeman has to say this year. So please join me in welcoming President Freeman to deliver the annual State of the University Address. President Freeman.
Good afternoon, Huskies. Come on, good, yeah. We'll try it again. Good afternoon, Huskies. It's wonderful to have the opportunity to share with you today highlights of our progress, impact, and priorities for moving our university forward. Just over a year ago, I had the distinct honor to be named NIU's 13th president. The support from you, our alumni, and the community has been amazing. And it's a testament to the profound impact NIU has in our personal and professional lives, in our town, and across the globe. Whether at alumni engagement events across the United States, or in Southeast Asia, where an NIU delegation nurtured new and long-standing relationships that support academic success, leadership development, and research excellence. Wherever Huskies gather, the message to me is always clear. The people and educational opportunities from NIU are transformative, not only for individuals, but also for their families and communities. The energy and optimism for our university is greater than I've ever experienced. Together, we are truly making a difference, and I applaud you for that. Our ability to make that difference starts with our mission, vision, and values. In fact, all that we do, whether related to recruitment, student success, academic excellence, curriculum innovation, employee professional development, fundraising, or budgets. All should begin and end with a reflection of our mission, vision, and values. When we do that, we stay true to who we are and who we are here to serve. When we focus our efforts through that lens, we deliver better results, foster better ideas, and we stretch ourselves in ways that make us more effective as colleagues, mentors, managers, and leaders. And we've shown that it is possible to respect our mission, vision, and values, even as we implement new strategies and pursue new solutions. This is the way we approach developing our strategic enrollment management plan. And as we've seen with our most recent enrollment figures, our recruitment efforts are working and delivering as we had anticipated. Overall, we saw a 10% increase in applications for fall 2019 admissions, and we're up across the board in new students. Specifically, we're up 2% each in new freshmen, transfer, and graduate students, up 5% in new law students, 25% in out-of-state students, and 37% in new online students. Part of this success stems from identifying strategic partners to assist us in areas where they add value and speed in achieving results. Had we gone it alone, doing things the same way, we would not have seen positive change. Relationships and partnerships are resources that we must continue to develop and mine. And the individual relationships that we cultivate also make a difference. All of us play a role in ensuring students and their families have a great on-campus experience. It's particularly gratifying when I receive positive emails directly from families who visit campus, such as the one I received recently from the Carroll family, who spoke highly of our admissions staff and our Northern ambassadors. To quote, "Of all the schools we toured this summer, Bridget and Kaylin were by far the most impressive and helpful people we encountered, and the NIU tour was by far the most informative and helpful tour we participated in. Before the tour, if you had asked us, is NIU in your consideration set for your kids to attend, my wife and I would have said, probably not. After the tour, our answer would be definitely yes." This is but one example of the positive unsolicited feedback we've received. Now, let me tell you a little bit more about the new students we welcomed to NIU in August. They are awesome. They are excited to be here. I love seeing them in their spirit wear, exploring our campus and city, taking and posting pictures at our new Husky Pride sculpture. They're also actively involved, creating connections to each other through common interests and experiences. They're defining and building their own NIU communities. These new students will inspire us to be our best. More than half of all new freshmen and transfer students come from traditionally underrepresented groups, and their perspectives, experiences, and culture will enrich our community and their educational experiences. Our new freshmen are accomplished academically. More than ever, we're in the top 10% of their graduating class, and their average GPA represents a 15-year high. And they have high expectations of our university. They want NIU to deepen their learning, to challenge their assumptions, to give them the tools they need to affect social change, and to prepare them for careers not yet invented. Learning about our students is exciting, but it is even more important that we are ready to learn from them and listen to their voices. It's on us to understand how they experience NIU in the world so that we can reduce the obstacles they encounter and provide the support they need to complete their degrees. Where we've changed the way we do things and seen positive results for recruitment, we need to do the same to improve our retention and graduation outcomes. It is unacceptable that more than half of students who leave NIU prior to graduation do so in good academic standing. Our enrollment plan takes a holistic approach and looks beyond just academics to factor in student experience, facilities, mental and social well-being, financial literacy and financial aid, and importantly, equity. To this end, we are participating in 2 formal learning communities comprised of higher education institutions that share our commitment to diminishing achievement gaps and promoting student success. The first is the Partnership for College Completion Initiative, Illinois Equity in Attainment, and the second is the Association of Public and Land-Grant Universities Initiative, powered by Publix. These collaborations will help us to identify, adapt, and scale evidence-based practices that advance equity in college completion. At the same time, we are evaluating many of our long-standing practices to determine whether the way we've always done it still makes sense. For example, we are examining the criteria that we use to award scholarships and financial aid. Our own data show us that student success at NIU is strongly correlated with high school GPA, but not performance on the SAT and ACT. Moreover, a body of research has demonstrated that these standardized tests are biased against students from economically disadvantaged or marginalized communities. Knowing this, it is hard to justify placing significant weight on the ACT and SAT in financial aid determinations when we are committed to making our transformative educational experiences accessible to talented students from diverse backgrounds. I want to note that eliminating the use of standardized test scores in the award of institutional aid is an administrative decision that does not directly impact the use of ACT and SAT scores in admissions decisions. Changing our admission standards rightfully rests with shared governance, specifically with our faculty. Faculty Senate President Kendall Thu and members of our Faculty Senate are exploring the topic of test-blind admissions. I commend them for this effort and look forward to seeing this advance. Hand in glove with equity are access and affordability, and we are able to do more financially to support students than ever before because of the AIM High scholarships funded by the state of Illinois and because of the generosity of our alumni and donors. This past year, total scholarship giving from all sources increased by more than 200%, with an additional $10.3 million committed. To a college-bound high school student, having the talent, drive, and determination, but not the financial means, is debilitating and discouraging. Where Pell and MAP fall short is a gap that I want us to bridge. Tomorrow, we will formally do so with the launch of an important new program, the Husky Pledge. For Illinois residents who enroll for fall 2020 as full-time freshmen, with a 3.0 high school GPA and an annual household income under $75,000, we will completely cover their first year's full tuition and general fees with a grant. And if income, enrollment, and university GPA criteria continue to be met, the initial amount of the Husky Pledge grant will be renewable for up to 4 additional years. Whether a student comes from a single-parent home, a dual-income family, or if they are undocumented, the Husky Pledge reflects our continued commitment to reducing barriers, creating opportunities, and investing where we can make a difference. Our admission counselors and marketing team will be helping us share this exciting news, and we hope that you will do the same. One of the other messages that we've been driving home to prospective students and their families is just how outstanding our faculty are. Faculty, your accomplishments underpin our national and international reputation as an engaged, student-centered research university. We boast that NIU professors stand with the best, not only for the personal attention and hands-on learning experiences that you provide to students, but also for your contributions to society through leading-edge research and artistry. In the fall, just as we welcome new students, we have the privilege of welcoming new NIU faculty. The new faculty dinner, where these new Huskies have an opportunity to introduce themselves to members of the university community, is always an incredibly positive event. But this year, it was phenomenal. Our newest faculty members shared details about themselves, their scholarly aspirations, and what attracted them to NIU. Some had ties to this region. A few were even Husky alumni. Many were attracted to our university because they were drawn to our vision, mission, and values, and to the students that we serve. And almost all said they ultimately came here because the administrators, faculty, and staff that they met during the interview process were welcoming and supportive, and because our campus felt like a place where they belonged. And they do belong at NIU. We are committed to playing a key leadership and resource role to prepare society for a century of change. Our newest faculty hires are accomplished scholars who are asking bold, original questions about how humans interact with each other, with their environment, and with technology. They understand that cultural competence is crucial to excellence in education, research, and even healthcare delivery. They value interdisciplinary collaboration, and they are looking forward to working with each other and with their successful senior colleagues. Every year, I look forward to the myriad occasions where we celebrate the scholarly accomplishments of our faculty and their success at engaging students in the creation of new knowledge and works of art. Most of these happen in the spring, but I want to highlight some of the amazing work I've been seeing now, because the success of our established faculty is always cause for celebration. From 2016 to 2019, funding from outside sources for NIU research, instruction, and public service increased by 27% to $35 million. The awards provide training to doctoral, graduate, and undergraduate students, facilitate cutting-edge research and development activities, and help the university to continue to attract stellar faculty and students. Many of our established research and artistry programs focus in 4 areas: global climate change, shifting demographics, advancing technology, and interpreting the world around us. And using relationships as resources, we are developing innovative academic programs and experiential learning opportunities that speak to these critical areas. Here are a few examples. This past year, the Illinois Board of Higher Education considered and approved 3 new PhD programs at NIU in electrical, industrial and systems, and mechanical engineering. These programs share a distinctive feature: an industry fellows program that will provide experiential learning within industrial environments and facilitate interinstitutional collaborations in science and engineering. Faculty members from more than 15 different departments are developing the vision, programs, partnerships, and facilities associated with the Northern Illinois Center for Community Sustainability, also known as NICS. A hub of the Illinois Innovation Network, NICS will emphasize food systems innovation, water resources management, and ecosystems sustainability. Our Center for Black Studies is partnering with Clemson University to create a new study abroad program wherein our students will visit Ghana, Barbados, and South Carolina. The experience will deepen their understanding of the origins of the transatlantic slave trade system, the forced enslavement of Africans, and the lasting impact of this system on our society. I could spend days sharing our impressive and impactful body of work with you, but for the sake of time, I will provide a short overview of the work in each of our 4 research emphasis areas. Global climate is projected to continue to change over this century and beyond, with temperatures rising, precipitation patterns changing, and severe weather events increasing in frequency and intensity. Things that we value and depend on, like water, energy, food systems, plants and animals, they're experiencing negative effects. NIU researchers are working to reduce our vulnerability by helping us understand ice sheet dynamics and sea level rise, identifying new weather forecasting methods, severe storm trends, and risk areas, and rethinking ecosystem resilience theory to guide our response to climate disturbance and human-induced environmental change. Our survival is linked to the solutions they'll help to devise. With respect to changing demographics, changing in migration patterns, increasing ethnic diversity, and the aging of baby boomers and millennials will have broad impacts on our society, impacting everything from labor force to community planning. NIU scientists and scholars are anticipating and preparing for the future by analyzing labor markets and proposing innovative workforce models, by exploring social and cultural determinants of health inequities and working to ameliorate disparities, researching the ways laws and policies impact family unity for immigrant families, preparing equity-minded K-12 teachers, and promoting physical activity and exercise for older adults. With respect to advancing technology, in our increasingly cyber-driven world, every single sector of society will experience changes with new applications of artificial intelligence, robotics, and advanced materials. NIU scientists, engineers, and artists are shaping our future by exploring new purposes for nanomaterials, designing new sensors and medical devices, building new lasers and accelerators, and finding novel ways to use advanced computing and artificial intelligence. And with respect to interpreting our changing world, it's hard to keep up and to understand ever-changing technology, information overload, fake news, and other new dilemmas. NIU faculty members are probing the psychological, ethical, and sociological impacts of new technology. They're exploring the state of our humanity through art, history, literature, language, museum studies, philosophy, poetry, and politics. The entire body of work is transformational. We are changing the landscape of teaching and learning, shedding light on our origins, and laying the foundation for new technologies and perspectives. The role faculty and staff play together to help our students succeed can't be overestimated. You are sharing your knowledge, helping them to create new knowledge, and you are tireless champions for them. I have been impressed by how many faculty and staff come to the President's office hours to offer suggestions about ways NIU can better serve undergraduate and graduate students. You are their advocates in a time when so many voices in our world are being marginalized. Last year alone, we estimate that more than 40% of our faculty and staff completed cultural competency training. Thank you. We need that work to continue, so please sign up to be an ally for our LGBTQ+ and our undocumented students. Participate in implicit bias training. become a code facilitator for conversations on diversity and equity. Doing so is valuable, I know, because I, along with members of my senior roundtable, have benefited from these experiences. Building on this, it's important to me, to our Board of Trustees, and to our university's future that NIU be an exemplary employer, even when resources are constrained. We want to retain our wonderful employees and welcome more into the fold. And we're making progress. In the past few months, we've included differential tuition in our benefits for employees and dependents, implemented a 3% increment for eligible employees, bargained with our faculty in good faith, increased graduate student stipends, and most recently, modernized and expanded parent and family leave policies. In addition to these enhancements, I'm pleased to share that we're working on a brand new program that will roll out in January. It's called Huskies Give Back, and it seeks to support something that we know is important to you, volunteerism. Our aim is to provide each full-time employee with one paid day to share your time and talents with charitable organizations, such as a food pantry, animal shelter, or perhaps your child or grandchild's school. Huskies are a community who care, and I want to continue to foster that as a university. Let me go back for a minute and point out that the parental and family leave policy changes were based on feedback received from the Presidential Commission on the Status of Women. In addition, extending our employee tuition benefit to differential tuition was a response to requests from members of our operating staff and supportive professional staff. Seeking and welcoming feedback on what we are doing is a priority for me, as is looking for ways to embrace doing things differently. I continue to hear positive feedback associated with seeking care at our new Northwestern Medicine Student Health Clinic. Their devoted and caring personnel are serving the diverse needs of our student population in ways that are inclusive, free of judgment, and comprehensive. Since I arrived at NIU, I've seen and heard about the need to update our spaces, and we are investing in our facilities to create welcoming spaces for our students. This year, we will dedicate $100,000 to revitalizing student gathering spaces in DuSable Complex to ensure that students have comfortable places to wait, to visit with faculty, to prepare for class, and to access charging stations. And the state has promised to invest more than $50 million in our facilities over the next several years to address structural integrity and to improve our academic spaces in ways that modernize the teaching and learning environment. I look forward to working with the Illinois Board of Higher Education, the Capital Development Board, and members of our university community to achieve those outcomes. I also look forward to seeing our entire university community take advantage of the new amenities coming to the Student Center in just a few short days. It will serve as the heart of campus and bring us together for meetings, a meal, a cup of coffee, and even a quiet place to reflect by the fire. Student feedback played a critical role in determining what the space will offer and how it will be used. New entertainment and dining spaces will be rolled out gradually over the coming months, but we're making what we can available now so that you can start to enjoy. And this Friday, I'm honored to participate with our alumni and students to open the new Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Commons and rededicate his bust. For those who might not know, we have the MLK Commons because of feedback from students, faculty, and staff in the early 90s, and their shared desire to have a place devoted to peace, unity, and justice. It's a beautiful space, meant to draw us in and reflect upon Dr. King's vision, which endures today and is needed more than ever. Over time, as the landscape takes stronger root, the space will only continue to flourish. All of this is great progress, but I also know from feedback that we need to work better on serving students who identify as disabled or who need to utilize the services of our Disabilities Resource Center. Disabilities can be visually apparent or hidden, permanent or temporary, chronic or acute. All of them matter and deserve our attention and support. This year, we have already hired 5 new employees to help address our students' growing needs. And in the coming months, we will relocate the Disability Resource Center to our Campus Life building, a more accessible home with more space for staff and testing, as well as accessible parking. I thought the DRC staff would cheer for that. As part of our facilities master planning, we will assess all of our facilities and grounds, identify the ways we need to make our campus more accessible, and develop an action plan. These changes will not happen as quickly as any of us want or need, and some will require substantial financial resources. But I am committed to identifying opportunities and implementing solutions that are student-centered, sustainable, and again, inclusive. We've also heard from our students that our policies and practices related to sexual misconduct and assault need revision. It's an epidemic on college campuses, and we're doing something to change that here at NIU. Earlier this year, we received a multi-year grant to reduce sexual assault, domestic violence, dating violence, and stalking on campus. The focus of this grant is to work collaboratively with campus and community partners to develop a violence prevention plan for the campus and surrounding area, and to build meaningful resources that are advocacy-based, culturally competent, and trauma-informed to support the needs of all survivors. This grant has many aspects to it, but 2 points in particular will be game changers. The first is enhancing our partnership with Safe Passage to provide more advocates for survivors, more training for staff and students, and greater access to resources that will position us to be even more effective advocates. The other aspect I spoke of is developing and delivering more culturally relevant and inclusive programs to serve all vulnerable populations. Successful prevention and advocacy cannot be a one-size-fits-all approach. We have to be more mindful of survivors who come from different cultures, racially diverse communities, and who identify as LGBTQ+, have a disability, have English not as their first language. We need to offer them information, resources, and services that meet their needs. As always, there's a lot of work to be done here. We have our challenges. We have enrollment to stabilize, facilities that need updating and overhauls, a never guaranteed budget situation that we're working tirelessly to take more control of, and a variety of processes and procedures that need simplification. More importantly, though, we have incredibly dedicated faculty and staff who care deeply for our students and their future. And our students are worth it. I said at the onset of my remarks that our students are awesome. They are innovating, hypothesizing, challenging norms, and building new bridges. Like Princess Jeremy, an honors student, majoring in biomedical engineering, who came to NIU from Brooklyn, New York. As the daughter of a United States Army service member, she grew up on a variety of military bases and wanted to find a diverse university community where she felt like she belonged. Not only does Princess belong here, she has made it a priority to help others make NIU their home. Through her work in admissions and in the Office of Military and Post-Traditional Student Services, Princess plays a critical role in helping students connect to resources so that they are supported and part of our community. She is someone who embodies every aspect of who we are and what we value. Like our newly named Lincoln Laureate, Ian Pearson. Ian is a first-generation student from Rockford who has achieved a 4.0 GPA as a political science major. In addition to being Speaker of the Student Senate and serving in leadership roles for a number of student organizations, he has served as an intern for our Office of Federal Relations. In that role, Ian analyzed federal policy briefs and brought to our attention a planned merger between textbook companies, a merger that would have led to reduced competition and ultimately to higher prices being passed on to our students. Because of his due diligence, NIU was able to mobilize with other universities to prevent that merger. Our students are amazing. Like Dale Brown from Greenwood, Missouri, a former Husky football player and one of our many high-performing student athletes successful on and off the field. In an address to the DeKalb Chamber of Commerce last week, I said that we must work together to support NIU graduates who want to start businesses in our community. Dale is a great example. He is a May 2019 College of Business graduate and now a grad student with a dream of owning his own culinary business, cinnamon rolls specifically. We hired Dale and placed an order to enjoy and to remind us how sweet it tastes when someone believes in you. As Huskies, we support and push one another forward. We want to see each other succeed and do what we can to help a Husky's dream become reality. We believe in you, Dale, and I believe in all of you. Thank you for your time today, and I welcome the opportunity to take your questions before you enjoy one of Dale's homemade cinnamon rolls. Thank you. I think we have some roving mics for questions you might have.
Is there a question? No pressure.
Is the smell of the cinnamon rolls coming in? Is that what's going on? Okay, I see a hand in the air. Carolyn Cambick.
Hi, Carolyn Cambick, an alum. I had a question about the sexual assault program. My granddaughter was just going through some training at U of I where they had to watch some videos and take some tests, and it was some requirement about, I think, involving the Title IX educational funds so that universities inform their students about this, and I guess also to prevent being sued or something. Are we involved with that at Northern too, or do we do something like that?
What a great question. We do a lot of training and conversations around preventing sexual violence, sexual assault, stalking, and partner violence on campus and in our community. As you point out, some of it we have to do because it's required by either federal or state law. And if we don't do it, we may not get financial aid dollars. We may not meet the letter of the law. But we go beyond that. We know that it's important that everyone see a video that has all of the information in it, that they take a test that shows they at least paid attention to part of it. But we certainly don't kid ourselves that seeing a video and taking a test is going to change student behavior throughout the year and protect our community from the terrible epidemic of sexual assault and violence that's in our country. So when I say we go on beyond it, we try to dose our students in different ways with information that will help them make wise decisions, that will help them look out for each other, and that will teach them what to do when they're in a difficult situation. We make the information about what to do if you find yourself in a terrible situation as available as possible to our students. And we make sure that we have folks who are available to serve as advocates for students who are involved in such situations. We talk throughout the year. We do programming with panels. The CAs in our residence halls are equipped to have small group and individual conversations with students who have questions, who have concerns, and who want to know what they should do next. We do everything we can, and we also try to make sure that students know that if something happens to them or to a friend, or if they have concerns about the climate in a particular classroom or club, that there are safe and confidential places for them to report things, that the university administration will welcome them telling us what's going on so that we can affect change, because it's equally important that when something does go wrong or when we notice climates on our campus that need to be improved, we're not afraid to share. I'm proud of the fact, and I think most universities presidents are proud of the fact that the work we're doing has brought light on this. The Me Too movement, the education we put out, there is much more of a conversation about sexual violence and sexual assault on campuses than there was 10 years ago. The incidence of reporting has increased, but that doesn't mean the incidence of assault has increased. It's just that we've taken things out of the darkness and into the light so that we can support people who have a terrible experience and who need our support to continue. What a great question. Thanks for asking.
Hi, Beatrix Hoffman, United Faculty Alliance and Department of History faculty. What is NIU going to be doing in the coming months to assist our students with registering to vote and helping to get out the vote, and how can we help?
That's another great question. Both voter registration and the census are things we really need to work together to get students engaged. I believe Matt Streb is somewhere he's up in the balcony without a microphone. Nat has been leading our efforts to train voter registrars across the faculty and staff, to increase opportunities for students to register to vote on campus, and to just get out the word to students that they can vote, that it's their right, and that there are places available to them in DeKalb and Sycamore. I'm sure if you ask Matt for more detail over a cinnamon roll. He'll do a better job than I did in terms of having a complete answer. We also have faculty and staff who are working with colleagues from our community to make sure that people get counted in the census. The census matters. It matters for revenue. It matters for representation. And university towns historically have hard-to-count populations. What everyone here can do is spread the word. Talk to people you know. Make sure that they know it's important that they're counted. And again, look for the tables that will be around campus and in the community, and ask Matt if you have more questions. All right, I think those cinnamon rolls are calling us.